5 tech innovations that most people don't understand yet. As a futurist, I discuss future trends in business and tech, and I talk with people about these topics every day. And from my experience, there are 5 tech innovations that many people have heard about, they might even have an opinion about, but most people don't fully understand. So let's look at them and try to clear the mist around them a little. There's obviously so much more on each of these trends. I've written extensively in my articles, in my books, Business Trends in Practice and Tech Trends in Practice, and there are a lot more videos on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe. The first one is artificial intelligence. This is perhaps the #1 most commonly misunderstood technology, and also one that causes a fair amount of anxiety. Many views of AI were formed by science fiction and humanoid robots fighting humanity. However, AI, in particular machine learning as we refer to it now, simply means computer programs or algorithms that don't need to be explicitly told what to do by a human operator, and instead are capable of becoming better and better at a specific task as they repeat it over and over again or are exposed to more data. This means they become very good at specialized tasks, often even better than humans, but they are far from having general human-level intelligence. What AI does offer is huge opportunities to augment many of our tasks and jobs, and it's really important for all of us to understand what the implications are for our own jobs and our own future. Quantum computing. Quantum computers aren't simply computers that are much quicker than regular classic computers. They work differently, exploit some unusual features of quantum physics, and are only better at a very narrow range of very specialized jobs. This generally involves solving very specialized mathematical problems that don't often come up as a day-to-day business computing requirement. They include optimization problems, for example, finding the best route from A to B when there are lots of variables that can change, or simulating very complex systems like weather patterns or traffic flows in our megacities. One area of day-to-day computing where quantum computing will have an impact is encryption. Quantum computers could potentially break the best encryption methods we have in place today, and lots of work is taking place to make our data and our systems quantum safe. So quantum safe cryptography is a big focus area. Metaverse. The first time people might have come to learn about the metaverse term was in the dystopian sci-fi novel Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, or when they watched the film Ready Player One. Or sometimes it is very closely linked to Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder's vision of this VR world. For me, the metaverse is much simpler, is the more immersive digital world where we see a merging of the digital and the real world. It doesn't just mean virtual reality, it involves augmented reality, holograms, as well as virtual and even mixed reality. What we are seeing is this being applied. If you now do a Google search for dinosaurs or unicorns, you now have the option of putting it in an augmented reality into your room. Or we have virtual try-ons where you can try glasses and clothes and jewelry, a bit like a Snapchat filter on your phone. For me, these are all more immersive, better experiences that for me illustrate where the metaverse will take us in the future. Web3. Web3 is sometimes linked to the metaverse, which adds confusion because people talk about the first version of the internet, which was websites, the second, the more user-generated internet and social media, and then the third is the more immersive. For me, Web3 is much more about the decentralization, driven by blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. There's also an ideological drive to move power away from centralized large organizations that have these huge monopolies. So if we apply cryptocurrencies, they challenge existing banks, for example. In social networks and search, we see a move towards decentralization using blockchain technology. And we currently have big organizations like Facebook and Google that are dominant in this space. So a decentralized Web3 social network would, in theory, be controlled by users and operate as a true democracy. Again, ownership is a big part of this. We have big platforms like Spotify and Apple Music today. In the future, a more decentralized world would mean that musicians have a direct relationship with their customers. They get all or much more of the revenue, and the whole platform is owned by users and content creators. So for me, Web3 is about decentralization and blockchain. 5G, simply the next generation of mobile data standards. They have seen a crazy amount of conspiracy theories, giving people ideas that it could be linked to the coronavirus and all other sorts of health risks. Basically, this is not much different to the third generation, the fourth generation of mobile standards. And in fact, 5G is still an evolving standard. Most of the current infrastructure that we have in place actually relies on slower forms of 5G that effectively piggyback on the 4G infrastructure that we've had for a very long time. What we will see now is a move towards this true standalone 5G that is now being rolled out, that will give us much faster mobile upload and download speeds, much more security, and really innovative mobile data flows. So there's so much more on each of these trends. I've written many articles about these. I've covered them in my books, Business Trends in Practice and Tech Trends in Practice. And there's obviously a lot more content on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe and check out all the other videos on each of these important tech trends.